All right, so fencing. What is your background and interest in fencing?
So my background actually is kind of an offshoot, and what I mean by that is, I mean that's kind of the purpose of our movie is to educate people on what fencing is and the fact that they may have already seen fencing, they just didn't know it was fencing. And what I mean by that is, I'm a martial artist by trade, so inspired by the man himself, Mr. Bruce Lee, at the age of 4 years old. Bruce Lee created his own martial arts called Jeet Kune Do. What a lot of people don't know is that the footwork from Jeet Kune Do is from fencing. So in a weird way, I do claim that I am taught in the art of fencing through the footwork of Bruce Lee's martial arts JKD.
Now, the thing I like about fencing is it's very cerebral, as well as physical. What is the process of trying to like understanding the actually strategy as well as understanding the physicality?
I mean, to be honest, I was a four-sport athlete in high school and in junior high. I played football in college. I'm a martial artist. I think everything is mental. You know what I mean? But fencing, I think the environment, right, and the fact that you're getting poked by this, literally by like a stick. Like, if there's nothing more annoying in the world than trying to out poke someone else who just keeps jabbing you. It's just mental. I mean, you know what? It's. I feel like it's more on the side of like tennis and golf on the mental side, where it's such an individualistic sport, but yet it's so there's such an adrenaline rush, because it's combat. Not to say that golf and tennis aren't to that extreme, but this is a combat sport that has derivatives from basically life or death situations, in old Europe.
But dramatically, what I find interesting with swordplay, especially in films, is the characters actually usually interact with each other. If you're having a fight scene, we don't talk.
Right.
Is that something? Does that say the reason why Hollywood has kind of gravitated towards that? Because not only do you have the physicality of it, you can actually have character drama.
Oh, I think 100%. That's correct. Obviously in any sport, you're going to have some dialogue with the opponent at some point, right? But I think this, like I said, it's such an individual sport, and the roots of it, literally from like, I bet it's like an aristocratic way of killing another person. The roots are. So now it's like you get to tell the other person, you get to communicate, you get to have that level of drama, before actually dying. I mean, why wouldn't the industry want to highlight something like that?
Now, fencing and swordplay go back in Hollywood to vaudeville days, like the original films. Why do you think there is such a marriage between Hollywood and fencing? Of all, I would argue all the sports, that one is the biggest marriage.
I just think because of what the storytelling has evolved from kingdoms, from knights in shining armor, from everything that's even relevant with Game of Thrones. Like that comes out so many years, later from like what these traditional, like Princess Bride, stuff like that. I just think it's one of those foundational elements of literally combat, and Hollywood has a true history with that. And as we were seeing, like it's 2026, and we're announcing a new film about fencing.
Yeah,
It's still going, you know what I mean? And I think the fandom is ready for it. I think they love it. They've seen it before, like in Wednesday, for example. Even in K-pop Demon Hunters, there's an element of sword fighting. Star Wars, obviously. So I think, it's always been relevant. It just has never been highlighted that this is actually it.
Yeah.